This week in Jamaica Now, blunder, why a Jamaican quartet has been denied a world record for a sizzling run. Closed, Jamaica Zoo hobbled by a lion-biting incident, forced to shut down operations. If only money could do it, a Manchester man who killed his lover in a jealous rage is now sorry.
Alive, you know, when the rain fall, no fall for one man no stop. Remember that.
And $1 billion. That's how much money lottery scamming and money laundering are raking into Jamaica yearly. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. Pressure is growing for the board of the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission JADCO to resign over a world record run by Jamaica's junior female team not being recognized by World Athletics. Management consultant and former JADCO Executive Director Renee Ann Shirley has joined calls for Sports Minister Olivia Grange to fire the board. World Athletics said this week it will not ratify the 42.58 second clocking from the under-20 girls 4x100 meter team to win the gold at the Carifta Games in April in Kingston. World Athletics said Tina Clayton was not tested as required by global standard. The other members of the team were Serena Cole, Brianna Liston and Tia Clayton. The local administrators of track and field, the J3As, said after the race the four athletes were notified by JADCO officials and presented themselves to the anti-doping station within the required time window to be tested. But J3A said JADCO took a decision not to test Tina based on its own standard. JADCO chairman Alexander Williams says he was not aware that the organization he has alleged since 2016 had a practice where it does not test an athlete twice in 24 hours, contrary to international standards. Mr. Williams has apologized and an investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile, the world junior record remains with Jamaica. A national team that did not include Brianna Liston ran a new time of 42.94 seconds to win gold at the World Under-20 Championships in Kenya last year. The government has been given until March 31, 2023 to implement a proper software system to efficiently capture and calculate overtime hours for members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF. However, Friday's court ruling disappointed rank-and-file cops as the judges did not impose any requirement on the government to pay any money to JCF members. The Jamaica Police Federation had taken the government to court over its failure to implement a proper system and to pay cops for working in excess of the agreed 40-hour work week. The Federation had contended that it is owed billions of dollars in overtime sums from as far back as 2008. Chairman of the Federation, Corporal Rohan James, says the association will still pursue the money. The Jamaica Zoo in St. Elizabeth was shut down by the government on June 1. The decision of the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA followed the recent incident where a worker taunted a lion until he was bitten. NEPA says the zoo was instructed to halt its services to the public until it complies with the conditions set out in a notice. The zoo is operated by businessman Paul Ferron. Director of the Legal and Enforcement Division at NEPA, Marjan Wallach, says some of the immediate steps that Jamaica Zoo is required to take include engaging competent technical skills to assist with operations at the zoo, installing satisfactory animal closures, and submitting an animal nutrition and welfare program. Jamaica Zoo has acknowledged the NEPA order and said it was working to address the issues. A former supermarket supervisor, Andre Brumfield, who killed his lover on New Year's Eve in 2019 because she allowed another man to kiss her, was sentenced to 18 years and 5 months in prison this week. But Mr. Brumfield told the court that if money could bring back 24-year-old Chantel White, he would spend every cent without reservation. But the court's decision to reduce the murder charge to manslaughter has irked sections of the public who feel Brumfield should have been prosecuted at the higher charge. The Manchester court reduced the charge after accepting Mr. Brumfield's claim that he snapped and was provoked into shooting Miss White while they had lunch at their workplace, Mastermax Supermarket. Miss White's father, Alton, was disappointed in the justice system and said Mr. Brumfield, who is married, should have faced greater punishment.
Alive, you know, when the rain fall, no fall for one man no stop. Remember that. The murder case, it's not how long. What they call it? Manslaughter. It's not a manslaughter case, it's a murder case. Everybody still pip. But you know what? The next thing? True, we never apply a liar. We never put a liar in the case. Because at least everybody did know what's going on, see what it is. So we think we would get all the justice. And justice will be in place for, you know.
It was a horrible end to Child Month 2022 as news emerged on May 31 of the brutal killing of 7-year-old Aidan Rose, a grade 1 student at the Bickersteth Primary School in St. James. His mother, 29-year-old Queen Anne Spence, who has been charged with child neglect, is being questioned by the police. The police have also confirmed that Ms. Spence is also under investigation for the death of her 6-month-old daughter last year. The police say an alarm was raised on Tuesday morning after Aidan's body, which was in an advanced state of decomposition, was discovered outside his Bickersteth home. Detectives discovered the child lying face down in bushes in a banana field with what appeared to be a chop wound to the back of the head. Approximately $1 billion is flowing into Jamaica from lotto scamming, money laundering, cybercrimes and drug and firearms trafficking. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the illicit activities are posing a grave risk to the stability of the Jamaican state. Dr. Chang says the money is used to buy guns that kill people and that it undermines and corrupts institutions and has a negative impact on the economy. He argued that lotto scamming activities are more pervasive in the Area 1 Police Division, particularly in the 3 parishes of St. James, Westmoreland and Hanover. The murder rate in the division has jumped by 53% over last year's figures. Nationally, up to May 27, the murder tally stood at 594, a 7% increase over last year's figure at the similar period. Meanwhile, the Klansman One Don gang trial is now down to 28 defendants after Chief Justice Brian Sykes acquitted the man accused of cleaning and repairing guns for the criminal organization on Tuesday. Dwayne Salmon was charged with 2 counts of being a member of a criminal organization and illegal possession of firearm. The trial is on a pause until June 13 because the female defendant, Stephanie Christie, has been confirmed with COVID-19. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notification and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, how help came for an ailing 76-year-old woman and her son who cares for her in Crofts Hill, Clarendon.
International Women's Day was coming up, and we as females within the division, 89 of us decided we want to do something. But one of the things we wanted to do is not to feature ourselves as female firefighters. We wanted to give back to our communities. And we were planning and we were thinking of going to the Women's Center and Children Home within our parishes. And then came the story from the Gleaner about Mr. Reed and his mom. I watched the story the night and I was extremely moved by it. And I posted in the group with all females. And I said to them, isn't this something that we could look at? And within seconds, the response from the females coming in was yes. We had decided to put money together to buy ourselves t-shirts so when we go into the children's home and the women's center, we would all look uniformed. Then we say the amount of money it will cost to make those t-shirts, we could use that said money to make a difference with Mr. Reed and his mom's life. We started out and we get the ladies together, everybody agree who was good at our cook is here, our own cook from our station is here. She did a preparation and as to what we need. We have persons who went shopping for mommy and went shopping for the son because we believe that the son was what really moved us. For a son to take such responsibility, and when he said the words, you will have many other girlfriends, but you'll have only one mother. That for us was profound.